Okay, so this is the 7th episode. I almost forgot what episode it was. This is Tim Friedhaber. He has just recently made fun of me for not having good equipment. No, I'm just kidding. But he's just like giving me some advice and stuff, and a lot of stuff. It's like I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what that is, and you explain it to me. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like,
Still doesn't make sense.
So it doesn't make sense. I'm like, just hitting record and see where the magic takes us works for me. But yeah, so like for right now, I think we're gonna start out with the like how you're in the marching band at WVU and like what all the music stuff you do down there and stuff.
Yeah, so I am in the marching band. It's been a lot of fun. This year, this next semester, we have 3 night games. One's in Pitt, one's at Virginia Tech, one's for Baylor. I won't comment on the Pitt game because no one from West Virginia likes Pitt fans.
Yeah,
but
I'm a West Virginia fan, and it's
ESP.
It's at yeah. The game's Thursday night in September.
Yeah,
at Pitt. I'm considering on going and stuff.
Personally, I think they moved the Pitt game from a Saturday to a Thursday because they didn't want West Virginia to buy 75% of the tickets. But that's just my opinion.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, but I think every weekend for the first 8 weeks we have something going on. So we're going to the Buckwheat Festival, which is like, I guess, West Virginia's big festival. I don't know. It's West Virginia. It's weird. It's a weird state. And then we have just a bunch of random things going on. But we do have a pretty good team, so hopefully we'll make a good bowl game this year.
Yeah, you got Garrett Green at quarterback. You got JT Daniels.
JT Daniels at
3-time transfer. 3-time.
Yeah, he's still a 5-star, though. We have Nico now, too.
Yeah. He was a 4-star, I do believe.
Yeah.
So, like, it'll be interesting to see how it goes and stuff. And, you got Lynn J. Dixon from Clemson. He ran for, like, 500 yards a couple of times there.
Yeah, he led Clemson in most yards per carry.
Yeah.
We just got a defensive end, I think, from Georgia Tech, too.
Yeah.
He's a 4-star. But anyways, the rest of the music stuff. Play tuba in the marching band. My primary is trombone. I work with our live streaming and audio and video department at West Virginia. So I do a lot of work with OBS and creating MIDI max patches for OBS and working with Python to create code for OBS. And then I also run the main live streams. That's called the Curiosity series. And then we also have the Diversity series, which I help with. And then I also work for the CAC running live streams and that kind of thing for recitals.
Yeah, so OBS is what I use. He like hooked me up with. He's like, this is something real good, and OBS Ninja, which is like how I do like the virtual podcast episodes and stuff. And so like, Tim has been a very big help with finding some good software to use to record, because I was just going to do Zoom, and Zoom is not a good way to do it.
Zoom compresses audio.
See?
And video.
Yeah. So going this route is a lot better. And I mean, before we started, he was saying, I could have brought my like GoPro, could have brought my mics, but then it's like, it's not my podcast, it's Colton's. We'll let him do however. And I would like to have a GoPro someday to do like the podcast videos.
You can use
as well as like regular videos. And I got a phone call, so I will pause. Okay, so now it was just my dad calling. So Dad, if you watch this, you got name dropped in the episode. But the GoPro and mics. Like, yeah, I want to get the GoPro to like do other videos and stuff. But they're kind of expensive.
And I mean, for right now, you could get a phone stand and use your phone as a webcam,
Yeah.
which also has a wide-angle view.
Yeah.
And you can use it in portrait to blur the background if you wanted to.
Okay. I mean, I like for like the podcast like videos and stuff. I'm like trying to do, like I'm okay with like the background like whatever. Like I try to make it nothing that like it's bad or anything.
Yeah.
And that like nothing that I don't want people to see.
Yeah.
And like the mics would be nice, like getting actual mics, but and I mean I could do different videos and stuff, and I'm gonna pause the recording. Okay, so that my air dehumidifier also gets a name drop for starting to run and do its job, but I'd shut it off for now. Hopefully I'll remember to turn it back on. But yeah, so the mics and stuff would be a good idea and stuff, but I mean for right now I'm just gonna like might do the phone thing like you said, and just see how like look into different things. And
Yeah.
I have you to ask for advice and stuff, and with this both you and Joe are back for the summer, so like I can ask,
Yeah,
like,
of
and
course.
like you can help me out and stuff. And
Yeah.
and then when you do your podcast and do episodes and YouTube videos and stuff, like I can like maybe watch that expert at work and like get some tips and stuff.
You can watch me do my magic.
Yep. He's an actual magician. He makes beer disappear from cans and bottles. Well, I guess I gotta rate this episode R because the beer reference. But yeah. So like, I know there for a while you were working for a music company. I can't remember what it's
Monos.
Yeah, Mon Hills and stuff, and that and that's like your major has to do with producing music labels and stuff like that.
Yeah, like my major is music industry, which is like the entire like spectrum of music, which is like we mainly deal with everything that's not actually performing, but a lot of the people in my major are either like somewhat performance majors, or they work with our label, or they're in bands that work with the label. Last week I ran a set for my one friend, and it was like a metal night, and one of the bands was like all university students that are in my major, and the other one was from a different town, but they still know us. So, like, I mainly work with the Creative Arts Center now and not the studio side, but I'm starting to get back into the studio side now that I have more knowledge on it.
Yeah, and I know you like racing. Obviously, he has a Christopher Bell Swino Speed Labs shirt on.
Do you?
So I want to say it's Mike Curb that owns like Curb Records.
Yeah.
Stuff. He's like part owner for like some wingless sprint car teams and midgets, and actually I think some like a Word of Outlaw team as well. I want to say him and Casey Kane, they like owned a team together.
Yeah.
But so this is the next Mike Curb, big record label producer, and owns some like co-owner of a lot of sprint car teams.
Yep.
And so
Never know.
But like it's just, I mean, with music, like so why do you love music so much that it kind of is what you want to do for a living, or possibly as a living?
Obviously, like, not everything I do with music comes easy to me, but it's something that I'm able to put a lot of time into without feeling like bored. I just want to keep learning more and more, and I think if like when I get a job in the music field, it'll be more of a learning process for me than a job. So I think like going to my job would be more of a fun experience than something I'm like, oh, I have to get up at 6 a.m. and go to this job and make no money.
Yeah, I mean, like like just like kind of like what you've told me about before about like what you do and stuff, and it seems like you enjoy it a decent amount. I mean, sometimes you get frustrated and stuff, but it's like it's college. You gotta like do a bunch of stuff with the
Yeah.
music side of things, plus other classes, and it's just a lot. And you're not getting paid. You're paying people to
Right.
do it,
Yeah,
to
I
let you
mean,
do it.
personally, as like an applied music major, I have all my coursework and then I have all of the practicing work. So I'm on campus like 9 to 10 hours a day doing practicing for like solo playing, and then I have my ensemble playing, and then I have like my different ensembles where I play like drums and steel drums and that kind of thing. So it's just like music majors personally don't feel like they have like any free time because we're always doing some type of practicing, and then on top of that we have to do all our schoolwork. So it does get a little old sometimes, but you push through it and get the final product, and then you're happy with it. So
Yeah, well, like that's good that like you can like push through it and keep grinding and doing well and stuff.
yeah,
And but so I think since we like talked about like WVU song and stuff, um, and I know you're a pretty avid WVU sports fan
yeah.
and stuff. So like I think starting out, I want to ask you, how did you think the basketball season went?
Oh, it was a complete disaster. You know, we start off 13-1. Everyone's like, "Wow, we have all these guys that are transfer players from JUCO schools, and we're gonna do great." And then we get into the Big 12, and it was embarrassing to say the least. Watching those games, and there was just no effort on the floor. Personally, the guys that transferred, I'm not upset about it because they didn't give any effort to this team, and they called this place their home, and then some of them went to play for other Big 12 schools, and it's just like, I'm not sure how you call a place your home if you're just going to transfer in the same conference and go somewhere else.
Yeah, like I mean, like that Oscar guy that played at
Yeah,
Kentucky, him transferring, I like I get it's and that's more okay than like if you're transferring to a team in the same conference
yeah,
because like he like well Kentucky's a better program than West Virginia, and so he moved up a step. Well, if you go from West Virginia to like say like Oklahoma or Baylor, yeah, they might be a better program currently, but like historically West
yeah.
Virginia has been pretty like they're consistent with Bob Huggins and stuff, and they just like it's like I never understood how you could just transfer from one school to like one that you have to play on your school that you just left all the time.
Yeah, I think the transfer portal has, in some sense, ruined college sports. Um, as for like Oscar, I if he would have transferred after the season, I would have been content with what happened. But it was just the fact that we played 8 games and then he was just like, I'm done, and left. Like, basically, honestly, in my opinion, I think West Virginia could have made a big run in the tournament last year if he wouldn't have left. But he was also giving no effort, so I don't know where that would have gone. But next year, I think our team looks pretty promising. We Austin Matthews transferred back to West Virginia after he played a year at Washington, and we've got a bunch. We got a 4-star forward from Iowa, and then we got a 6'10" JUCO player who's also a 4-star. So I think we have a pretty good shot of doing good this year in both basketball and football.
Yeah, I mean, I think football. Like I didn't really follow the basketball too much this year, but football I know seems like we're gonna be better, and also like I like trust the climb. Like I saw what like the coaching staff did at Troy
Yeah,
and how they like went like they beat like Nebraska and stuff like upset like had some major upsets when they were there, and I can see the progress. And they're finally kind of getting their guys in the system and stuff. And so I think this year it's gonna be the best year they've had with this coaching staff.
Yeah, I mean, not having an offensive coordinator for 2 years is just not possible to win games. Picking up Graham Harrell from USC and JT Daniels, and we hired a new quarterback coach, I believe, too.
I think so as well. I can't.
But yeah, Graham Harrell and JT Daniels have already worked together at USC. Their Graham Harrell's air raid offense is the same offense that Dana used here, and it worked like tremendously in the Big 12. So I personally I think we're an 8 to 10 win team this year.
Yeah, going like Graham Harrell, he was one of the like not original quarterbacks of the air raid offense, but Mike Leach, he's like the air raid king. He like started it, and like Graham Harrell played for him at Texas Tech
Yep.
in like 07, like around 07, 08 and stuff. And he was great running that system. And he's part of that. He's a disciple of Mike Leach, which Dana Hogerson was as well. Like a lot of the air raid offenses have connections to Mike Leach.
Yeah.
The Mike Leach coaching tree. And USC had like pretty good offenses there and stuff. And like JT Daniels started under him. Caden Slovis was a starter. Now he's at Pitt. And, week one, JT Daniels and Caden Slovis, two guys that were at USC at the same time playing against each other. Now will be a great game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big game for sure.
Like I personally I think Slovis is better than JT Daniels, but that's just my personal opinion.
I
think though West Virginia should do better though, because I feel like they lost less than Pitt.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Kenny Pickett had a big thing to do with why Pitt was so good this year. When you have a quarterback like him, it's just he's a leader. He keeps pushing the guys. It's like when Joe Burrow played for LSU. He just kept pushing and pushing and kept giving them motivation even when they weren't doing good. But I mean, not that the ACC is a bad conference, but there's like Clemson destroyed the ACC every year until they lost good guys. Pitt did decent last year in the ACC, and Wake Forest was alright, but the ACC doesn't meet up to the level of skill that's in the SEC or the Big 12, or even the Big 10 for that.
Yeah, I like agree so Wake Forest, they've been a good solid program for a while now under their head coach and coaching staff. They know how to do it right and stuff and build a program. And Florida State, they used to be, when they had Jimbo Fisher, they used to be what Clemson still kind of is.
Yep.
And Clemson, they went through losing a bunch of players for like the past decade and were just dominating it. And because for the longest time it was them and Florida State, then Florida State kind of fell off. And hopefully they bounce back, because I feel like that would be good for college football. And in Clemson, I feel like will bounce back as well. Their down season, they still won 8 games.
Yeah.
And I think there's like some other good programs throughout the ACC, like North Carolina's pretty good.
Yeah.
Virginia,
they were ranked last year.
Yeah. I think they ended up becoming unranked.
Yeah.
But they were for a while. I think Miami, they've had promise for a long time, and I think maybe they got the coach this time to turn it around and actually bring back how the U was.
Yeah.
And I mean, Virginia Tech's pretty good, and like there's like good quality programs, but it's tends to be more lean towards top heavy than say the Big Ten and the SEC. and I would even say I would say it's the SEC and the Big Ten are up.
Yeah, they're the top
They're the
dogs.
top two. Then like the Big 12 ACC. I mean, the Big 12 might be a little bit higher because as of right now, because they have like Oklahoma, Texas, and Baylor and Oklahoma State did well last year, and earlier in the 2010s, TCU and Baylor were just nuts. They were phenomenal
Yeah.
and stuff. But I mean, and then you got like the Pac-12 and stuff, which I think could become like a better conference and stuff. But
Yeah, well, if Texas Tech and who is the other one end up going to the Pac-12, I think they'll be pretty good.
I mean, I don't know. Didn't see anything of like any of the teams leaving for Pac-12 as of late, but I know we're like the Big 12's adding Cincinnati, which I think will be good, especially like now that you got like two teams. You got Cincinnati and West Virginia, kind of
Yep.
too far away.
BYU will be farther away too.
Yeah, and then
Florida.
yeah, UCF,
Yeah,
and
and
then
then
Houston
Houston.
is like a lot of the Big 12 came from like past, I don't know, like before the Bay Conference realignment started in like 2009, 2010 and stuff. The Big 12 was just a lot of the Southwestern Conference, like the old conference from the 80s and
Yeah.
like early 90s and stuff. A lot of those teams came from that conference, and like it's like pretty much all Texas schools and like a
Yeah.
couple of Oklahoma schools and like and then they got like a few more thrown in and stuff. But like
So let me ask you a question. This is kind of college football, kind of the NFL. Being a West Virginia fan, can you bring yourself to buy a past Pitts player's jersey who's now a Steeler?
yeah, I don't like see like I could do. I don't want a Kenny Pickett jersey, but I would buy one because like if I wanted to buy one, I would buy it without thinking twice about it. And p- it sounds weird that like you're probably gonna think I'm like weird and other people will, but I don't completely hate Pitt. I would still put him in my like top five, top 10 favorite schools to like root for and stuff. And just because it's like a home like, but like it's kind of like how it like. I mean, I have like some like a different reason to like root for Franklin to do well than just they're like 15 minutes away. But I like anytime Franklin plays, I hope Franklin does amazing in their sports and stuff until they play Oil City, and I hope Oil City drags them through the mud. But I think beating your rival that actually is doing good is also like makes you feel better because it's like
See, Colton, my personal standpoint on this is I personally don't have a problem with Pitt or Pitt sports, but I do have a problem with their attitude and their fans' attitude.
Dude.
Because they get 1 or 2 good years every 10 years, and then they're like, oh, we're amazing. You know what their basketball team did this year? They won like 6 games. And at the beginning of the season, we're like, yeah, we're going to do great this year. That's like being a Browns fan. This is going to be our year. Browns fans and Pitt fans are exactly the same. Every year is going to be their year.
dude. So like this is how I look at it. West Virginia does the same thing. We're like, well, I'm maybe not thinking it's their year necessarily, but they have like a couple real good seasons, and then or like good seasons, and then like back to like 4-8. And that's how it's been like ever since I've been a fan of West Virginia, which was 2012 and stuff.
Oh, I agree, but
it's
historically, we've been better than Pitt. But Pitt still thinks they're better than us. Same way with Virginia Tech. Historically, we've been better than Virginia Tech, and they still think they're better.
I mean, like a lot of it though is a lot of fans they don't really know that historically, and I mean there are some like fans that do like a lot of old heads, like older people and stuff. But like it's like the college, like kids that actually are the college kids. They're like I've never even heard of this school like until like I decided to go here
Yeah,
type vibes
that's
and
true.
stuff. So it's like a little different, but like, I know what you mean. And
Well, see, my personal thing is, I I personally couldn't care that Pitt beat us the one year, 13-9, or whatever it was, 13-7. I think it was 13-9. But Pitt fans, they just love to hold on to that. They beat us once in a backyard brawl, and of course we didn't go to the national championship because of it. But were we going to win the national championship? Probably not.
was that the back when like in '07?
Yep.
I want to say, yeah. We also lost to like USF, I think, that year as well.
Yeah, but they're still
But,
holding
like,
on to. They're holding on to a thing that happened almost 20 years ago, and that's the only thing they got against us right now. But my favorite thing about Pitt fans is personally, they cheer for their team and their school, but they probably couldn't tell me a single person that's on either of the teams, basketball or football, other than Kenny Pickett, who's not on the team anymore.
Yeah, and they would have only known. Someone only would have known Kenny Pickett from this past season.
Yeah.
Which I like. I've known who he was since his first year as a starter. I would want to say he was a redshirt freshman, but he might have been a true freshman. I
He
can't
was
remember.
redshirt.
Yeah, but like, and I've like seen how he has progressed from then,
Yeah.
and then he exploded this past year. And I think a lot of that had to do with Mark Whipple, the
I agree.
offensive coordinator, because he's been known as a really good passing guru, like quarterback guru and stuff. And now he's at Nebraska, I do believe, as the offensive coordinator there. But he might have been the QB coach for the Steelers when Big Ben was first drafted.
Yeah.
I want to say that was who the QB coach was. I think I remember seeing that because because like I think I saw something where he like told Big Ben that he was not as good, like was not their first
Yeah.
choice and stuff. And
So, Kenny Pickett, flop or not?
I hope he's not, but I did not like the pick. Nothing against Kenny Pickett. I mean, I just didn't want a quarterback there. And I personally prefer Desmond Ridder over all the other quarterbacks just because of seeing how he's played throughout his whole career, how he's played more consistently on a good level his whole career than Kenny Pickett has. Kenny Pickett's played well, but he hasn't played to the level consistently that we've seen the last year he played.
Right. Personally, in my opinion, I think the Steelers have got to watch Kenny Pickett play for the past 5 years and are probably seeing something that no one else does.
Yeah.
Because why would we waste a first-round pick on Kenny Pickett if they didn't see something that no one else is?
Yeah, I mean, I agree because it's like, they're the professionals that they scout so much.
Yeah.
And like the scouts and the GM and the coaches, they do so much homework on the guys they draft that they like see something that we may not be seeing. And I personally feel like I'm pretty decent at like telling if a player can be good, but you never know because of the environment they're placed in,
Yep.
injury. There's so much that factors in if they can be good or not, if they succeed or not. That it's super hard to tell. Like, just look at the NFL draft the past 10 years and look at the bust versus people actually being like good and stuff, and people are like mad at like Terrell Edmonds for us using a first round pick on him, but it's like you use a first round pick, you're lucky if you get a solid starter,
Yeah.
because there's so many factors in it, and like I think Terrell Edmonds was a very good first round pick. Yeah, people are mad like, oh, he's not a Pro Bowler, not elite. Why waste a first round pick on him? It's like, you know how hard it is to find like the guys that are going to be like super great and good and stuff. It's like being mad. Like we passed up Dan Marino
Yeah.
in '83. Like
Yep.
he was and I think some of that has to do with why we took Kenny Pickett, because it's like we can't let somebody that grew up in the backyard. I mean, I think Kenny Pickett's from actually New Jersey, but he went to Pitt still, so he like grew up as a collegiate athlete in your backyard. You can't let it happen again.
Yeah.
And, I mean, because a lot of people will say, like, we didn't draft Marino. The guy that we did draft, he ended up getting in a motorcycle wreck, I do believe.
Yeah.
So he could have been a very good player, but we don't know. But they don't want to risk that and have, like, terrible quarterbacks the next, like, decade.
Right.
Until we get a couple good years of Cordell Stewart and Tommy Maddox before we get Big Ben.
Right.
So, but, I mean, other than that, I think the draft, though, was very good. I think the receivers we got were good. I know there was...
Guy from Georgia.
He's a dog.
He's a good pick.
Yeah, like, he did not live up to expectations at Georgia because of injuries, but he has the potential to be... He's like a more explosive Juju, almost. Yep. Because he's like a very physical receiver, but he's a little faster. And then the other wide receiver, we got Calvin Austin, the third. He's a speedster, little short, but I think it was Derek Stingley, or no, I don't know if it was him or not. I want to say it might have been Sauce Gardner said that the hardest receiver to guard was him.
Yeah.
So I think that was a very good, solid pick as well. I think the receiver room looks a little better than what it did before, with the guys we kept and drafted and stuff. I mean, the rookies will take some time. I don't expect them to be like Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson type rookies, but like I think they'll be very solid and stuff. And I think the line's improved a lot with like the signings we got, and the younger guys are getting another year to improve. Quarterback, I feel like Mitch Trubisky can do very well.
And Money Mitch.
Dude, that's another problem why I have with the Kenny Pickett pick, because we have Mitch, and I think he can do very well.
I agree.
So, I just am worried that it was a waste of pick on a Kenny Pickett, because we had a guy that could be the future, and we could like drafted like somebody else, but they have a plan. They know what they're doing. And with that quarterback we drafted in the 7th round, that means Mason Rudolph will be off the team, hopefully.
Yeah.
Because I do not like him.
I think he should have been off the team after the whole Browns situation.
Yep. I do not like him. So, I mean, and I know the guy that we drafted in the 7th round, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name because I would mess it up a lot.
Yeah.
But I know he split time at South Dakota State, but he still did very well there. And, I mean, we'll just see how the season goes and stuff. But I feel like we're going to be slept on a lot, and we'll do a lot better than people think.
Yep, I agree.
I mean, so another topic I want to touch on, because I know you like hockey. I know you play like rank hockey and stuff, or deck hockey, not rank hockey. But and I talked to Joe earlier about this, and like he might get a little heated over there sitting but watching us. But what do you think of this won't come out for like a couple weeks, but what do you think of like that hockey game the other night?
The one we won?
Yeah, the Penguins game. Yeah, the 4-3 overtime game.
I think it was a great game. I think New York's a dirty team, though.
Yeah.
They destroyed a few of our players who are probably now going to be out for the rest of the season. And I think the only way they're going to win is if they keep destroying our players. New York has one good season. They're a lot like Pitt fans. They have one good season, and they think they're at the top of the NHL for the rest of their life until they lose. They'll be done. We're going to beat them. I have no doubt in my mind the Penguins will beat them.
Are the Penguins going to win the cup then?
No. It's going to be Carolina or Colorado.
Different response than what Joe had.
I'd love to have faith in the Penguins winning the cup, but it's just not there. We have DeSmith as a goalie, and now we don't have Jari because he has a broken foot. We might not even have DeSmith anymore. It's going to be a
Hey, Louis will get the job done.
Let's hope. No, personally, I just think that Carolina's been getting consistently better every single year, and I've been watching Carolina since about 2013 when my brother started working for them, and their program has got insane, and if they can beat injuries, I don't think there's any team in the league that can beat them. I could be wrong, but
I mean, there's a reason they play the games.
yeah.
So, my prediction, I don't really watch hockey, but my prediction is the Pens are going to win. And that's also a lot of because like hometown bias, but they're going to win. But, I mean, and if the Predators aren't in the playoffs, are they? I don't know. I don't watch hockey.
Hey, listen, you know what? If the Penguins win the cup, I'll buy you both a case of beer. Or
All
twisted tea, because I know you like that.
No, I don't really I didn't care for it that much. But like, I'll take the case of beer and I'll set for like a month for, the whole case won't get finished for like a year or two probably, but.
I'll buy you dinner and a case of beer if the Penguins win. That's how confident I am that they're not going to win.
You all saw this here. When would a cup be done?
Not until like June.
June. So this should be out. This might be like the first week of June. This might come out.
I think the fourth round is like the middle to end of June, depending on how long the third series takes.
Yeah. So this should be out by then. But yeah. So everybody heard that Tim's gonna buy me a dinner and a case of beer, and I mean the beer will probably last a long time for me. But the dinner will taste delicious. Well, I mean, but, dude, are you ready for racing season?
Dude, I've been ready for racing season since it ended last year.
Dude, I've been ready for a while too. I went to Lernerville a couple weeks ago.
How was that?
Dusty.
Yeah, I bet.
But it was pretty good. The track, it had rained a bunch like that week, and I thought the track was gonna be real bitey, but it ended up slicking off a lot. But it was still very good racing.
What was it?
It was just a regular show. So they had the 410 sprint cars, super late models, big block modifieds, and pro stocks.
Gotcha.
I didn't stay for the pro stocks because my cousin. I went down with me and my sister went down with my cousin Jayla and Kyle to watch, and Jayla had to get up early and go to work. Not the day after, which was Saturday, and so did I. So we left after the modified feature, but each race was very good.
That's good.
And so, and I think I haven't been to one since. I had planned on going to the All-Star races at Lernerville and Sharon, but personal stuff made it not be possible and stuff, which I'm fine with because I watched it on my phone and stuff on Flow Racing. But I think, and then I don't Tri-City and Mercer. Mercer's been postponing a lot because they're still working on the track. They had a practice and they took feedback from the drivers and they're gonna keep working on it. And I think Tri-City. Well, I heard that Mercer had the new clay down, but they didn't work it in. That was a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
This is May 5th, so a few weeks ago from May 5th. And then Tri-City, I heard, had their clay and dirt clumps on the track, didn't put it down yet, and it was frozen inside, so they couldn't do anything with it. And they've been pushing. Luckily it got rained out, and they're working on the track this week. But I think it'll be very, very rough. I mean, Mercer will be rough with the new surface, but I feel like they're actually trying to work it in very well. And Tri-City, they don't know really what they're doing. And since they didn't have the clay and stuff already laid out, and it was still in clumps a few weeks ago, I think it's going to be really rough.
Well, they better hurry up because they have Western PA Sprint Week coming up before they know it.
Yeah, June. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it'll be ready to race on by then, but we'll see.
It wasn't ready all last year, so
I mean, that's true.
until they fix the divot, no one's gonna want to race there.
Yeah. But Kyle he's thinking about racing that Lernerville weekly, and maybe Mercer weekly as well, and then not racing at Tri City.
Really?
Yeah, partly because it's so rough and
people like
stuff.
to cheat and get away with it.
Yeah, but that's not mainly the reason. Just because it's rough, like it'll probably be rough still, and as well as it'd be too hard to race two different series.
Yeah,
I mean not two different series, 3 times a weekend.
That makes sense.
And stuff instead of it'd just be easier doing it 2 times and stuff. But we'll see. And he'll be at Knox. He's going to be running a BRP tour.
Yeah.
And that big race at Knox, that memorial race and stuff. Now it should be a real good race. I'm expecting good things from Knox Raceway and stuff with the new owner and stuff.
I agree.
I feel like he's really wants to make it a really good track and stuff, and I feel like he is going to do it the right way, especially with only running a few. I think there's like 8 races total. I think that's a good idea to start out with, make sure the track is good and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting good things. I haven't been there since my freshman year of high school when my dad almost won a pro stock race there. Him and a second place guy got wrecked on the last lap, and yeah, got robbed of a victory, but it's all right.
It's racing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it was a little dirty there, but I mean,
stock car racing in PA.
Yeah, and well, for the most part, there's some people that don't drive dirty or, don't try not to rough up other cars, but
yeah.
But I think I'm excited for this year in racing and stuff, and
It'll be good.
I think there's going to be decent amount of 410s at each track that has 410 races. There was 25 at Lernerville. They ran instead of running, like, just letting them all run the feature, they ran not a C main, a B main, which was stupid. And part of it's probably because they raised the, for the sprint cars and super late models at Lernerville, they raised the pay 5%, and they don't want to pay everybody. They don't want to pay 24 cars
when you
to
pay
start.
20.
Yeah, so just give them like B main money, which is stupid in my opinion. Because,
I agree.
Especially with the tire shortage and the gas prices. Why would you run a B main when you can just most tracks? The limit to start is 24, and then you got provisional sometimes, which can take you up to like 27 cars in a feature, and you got 25, so just let them all run. But
yeah, there's tire stock problems, but there's also tire quality problems right now.
Yeah,
too.
That's also a problem. So I mean, hopefully nothing bad happens, but hopefully everybody keeps getting tires and stuff. But I think I'm gonna do the final segment, which is what's like some of your favorite foods. It's gonna be a question on every episode, like because food is amazing. I love food. Everybody loves food. So like, what are some of your favorite foods? And
big steak guy. I like sashimi, sushi. I'm big sashimi guy though.
Joe said about sushi earlier.
Traditional ramen. That's pretty bussin'. Po, if you know what that is. It's Vietnamese food. Boba. That's about it.
Man, you shocked me, not gonna lie. I was expecting like chicken wings and stuff.
Wings are good, but it's America. You can get chicken wings anywhere you go.
That's fair. Man, but like you and Joe came at me with like these like food answers today that like I've never had. I've had sushi before, but like people would just hit me with like chicken wings, burgers, like those types of answers and stuff.
Yeah.
And you guys did hit me with like the steak and stuff, which you expect, but like the sushi, and then like you're like naming here like Vietnamese food and all these other food and stuff, and it's like, it's nice to see a variety instead of everybody just being, oh yeah, I like chicken wings. I mean, chicken wings are amazing, but you like to see a little bit of variety and stuff. But I appreciate you coming on and doing this episode, and everybody go like, comment, subscribe, go follow Tim's channel. Like, I can link it in the description, and just have a great day, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe as I said before, and thanks for watching.